we go on to game number 5. Going to be Miramar, and we are getting right into the thing. So far, so good. We've had 3 winners across our 4 games. Will we get a 4th? We're about to find out.
Like a northern plane down towards the middle. Kind of rough start for this, especially starting over Campo Militar. There's not that many teams looting on the northeastern side of the map because it's that far away and the map is very big. And we're going to have some of the teams that's usually looting on the western side of Pozo, Montenuevo kind of struggle to get there. They will probably have to land for cars and move towards the circle. And we're going to see more kind of matchups and mix-ups with people dropping on top of each other, maybe contesting each other. Winstrike here dropping very early, taking Campo Militar.
I think we're going to see some teams dropping in the south side here of the map and try to play from there. If they normally drop on the west side, it's so hard to reach there. And you lose so much time because this is Miramar. The rotation, it takes a lot of time. Now instead, you can just loot a lot of compounds. We have the up settings. With the new super settings, you can take other compounds instead, and you'll get just as looted.
Yeah. Anybody dropping towards the west, probably going to try and look for cars along those roads, go to their preferred spots if they want to go that far. And depending on where that circle spawns, could potentially hurt them in the long run, Avenger.
FaZe here going for the far southern drop, also because they've spotted that Val del Mar is actually open, so they can kind of adapt depending on the plane. Very good to see from them. We'll see how far they're going to go. They're probably going to go straight up to Montenuevo, straight off the bat here with this circle.
All right, the Sims and the D-Man, take it away.
Thank you very much. Yeah, and talking of adaptations, obviously G2 were down in Val del Mar in the previous round because of the flight path. Now they're back in their Al-Azhar, where they were planning to be. Looks like the Pittsburgh Knights are going to get themselves back on their feet. So I didn't see, that must have been a buggy run over. That's all that was, a simple knock. Still happens, Rich, so many times.
It does, but, you know, when you're at this level of the game, you're just going to get yourself back up quite literally and move on, which they're doing. Playing, you'll just see...
Is it Chumbawamba, mate? They get knocked down, they get back up again.
But you're never going to keep me down.
Never. It's the end of the night. We're getting a little loopy. So I mean, are we seeing anything adjustments? I do see Na'Vi, by the way, did make the adjustment. They're back in Impala now. But on that same step, the Jokers are down in Puerto Paraíso, so they've also adjusted their positions. Obviously, as mentioned, it's not really Western focused because I think the Jokers are normally in La Cabrera, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So they've had to make some changes. G2, of course, back in El Azhar. Double back-to-back chicken dinner winners on Erangel and Miramar. And solid performances to boot with it. It's what we expected. G2 were a force. Obviously, they played as Penta in Minsk, and they absolutely beasted that event. Both Group A and the finals, of course. They dominated both sides of it. So not too surprised that these guys that play like machines, by the way, they're playing all the time, turn up and perform right here on the first day of what will be the first phase. 60 games in total, this being just game 5. A long way to go, and that's something a lot of these teams have iterated, you know, talking to FaZe Clan, they're like, look, it's just the first day. And, you know, Martin kind of alluded to it, like a lot of these teams, some of them have not played competitively, like especially the invites, competitively for some close to 4 months. Vitality, 4 months is the last time they played a competitive tournament. And that's a big old break. So, you know, day 1, day 2, just going to start getting warmed up. When you start looking towards week 2 and 3, that's when we're going to see some teams seriously bring in the heat.
It is, but obviously you've still got the scrims that might be going on in the background. You've still got the casual playing that people like to pub storm. But as long as you're staying warm and at least you're keeping warm
Stay in shape, yeah.
Yeah, and you're doing things to keep on track for PUBG. And even if you're not doing that, but you're just looking into the game, realizing what's going on, keeping an eye on other teams. Now with this circle, people obviously going for the early rotations. Montenuevo is up for grabs if someone wants to do a smash and grab. It will be unlooted as well. Red Diamonds have moved all the way. Pretty much going to be a bit of a nuisance because they're out in no man's land looking for these rotations themselves, these crossovers off the side roads. Digital Atletico, I mean, when you look at them, they're spread out across the dark area of the map, which is the hilltops, the hillsides of that southern edge of the circle. FaZe are down there as well, just beyond that on the opposing side of that dark ridge. The interesting one about this is, and you kind of spoke about how teams
they're going to pass the Jokers.
Switching things up. I think Miramar is actually quite forgiving, especially more compared to when you look at how fixated Erengel's been. When you, we've already got a slight
dodge the car as well, and finishes, goes for the flush. The Jokers.
No,
I was talking about it. The Jokers out of position. They're not normally up here. They're normally down in La Cabrera, way up in the north. So Navi completely unaware of what is going on here. So Dovnik also down by Kemba, and the Jokers have caught Navi napping as they just cruise down the coastline.
2 players just like that back to back. So Dovnik might bleed out. They will adjust away from this one and just leave him alone. You can see Dimash is actually trying to confirm this from through. We're hearing a fair amount of dinks. Batulin might be able to push on this and give him the support that he needs. Recrent's there as well. It might be, unfortunately, just too little too late. If they have the smokes, they could run it. Winstrike, they're on the rotation as well. They have to take the longest distance compared to anybody else. They were straight out of the plane, no messing whatsoever. Bit of an adaptive, I want to say. An adaptive drop-in straight out of the plane. Campo, Militar. All right, we'll loot up. So Militar's decent, and you'll be able to get some good gear out of it. They'll be able to turn up pretty well utilized and equipped for the job. We'll see how it does fare, though, because Raise Your Edge is directly in front of them. They might be taking the same rotation into this circle. We'll see if anyone sets up at Pozo to stop any of those northern rotations, but it might just be the 2 teams, Raise Your Edge and Winstrike, that I did speak about. The centre's starting to get a little bit crowded, more so the eastern edge. No one's going as deep as Monte Nuevo, which actually might cause people problems. We don't know where this next circle's going to be. The team that might rush that is FaZe. They do have a chance to do that because no one else is actually lingering around the western bank.
Yeah, I just wonder. I mean, Team Liquid, that's another...
here we go, pushing in 2 players. There's actually another team in there already.
Is that a little too close? Yeah, it's Sixmo that's here. Gets around the corner. Teams gets knocked. Can he get flushed out? Gets himself, crawls back in just about. Ibby's going to go straight around the corner, though, and we'll take Sixmo down. We'll get James back on his feet. A 4-minute rotate the Team Liquid went for. Obviously, we've seen early rotates. I'm just wondering, is it early enough? Whoa, is Mert going for this? Mert's coming in. Mert's coming straight back in towards that position we just saw. Iroh's also coming in. Let's get back on the action with Team Liquid, please, because they are getting pushed, actually, it seems, by Digital Athletics.
Oh, they want it.
Yeah, they've come back in for it.
Fair play. I mean, you've got to play aggressive. This is what these points do to the game, to be honest with you. However, he might get stabbed in the back. Look at this. You can already see Red Diamonds running it inside, and he's weakened. Players will move up. They know exactly that he's in here. The footsteps are very synonymous, especially in these buildings. There is a slight echo, so you can pinpoint exactly where they are. And the fact that he's just lingering around here gives his position away so much. It depends if Liquid want to send another man over here to finish the job and kind of clear out this space. These are 2 versus 1. They probably should know that. And you'll also know that they are holding the angle of the stage. Jempty's coming in as well. So give away the... That's a bait and switch. That is an absolute bait and switch. Jempty flies by. He goes after Jempty. The boys come downstairs and kick him out. Bouncer does its job. Interesting place to get out, but the vehicle is on fire. Fair play. Ibi also finds Ira in the middle of nowhere with the M24. Plants on his blade and does the job.
NIP getting lit up by the Pittsburgh Knights as well. And, you know, stuck down this hill. This rotate has not worked out. They come out of San Martin and they've kind of tried to go as central as they can. Oh, it's a long run. Yeah, MBS not going to make it. VOD as well. This could be the first team down already. VOD just about creeps in, but the Knights are not going to let him get away with this. They're going to continue following. They're going to push it. Oh, man.
VOD, don't step out. There's a K9 looking at your face, buddy. Even one to the chest at this point with 40 HP. He'll do some damage. Nades are running in. Circle as we do jump on board with the map, snaps, and it heads down south. And again, we're in this dark terrain, the hilly terrain. It's really, I mean, to be fair...
No, he's gone.
More towards the middle area. It's probably the highest ground here that you could get. So I won't expect a few people to try and take control of that and really dominate it. It, in theory, shouldn't go down south, the next circle. There's obviously no water that you have to kind of deal with this one. Fuzz face onto Samtip. Samu does go down. That's the Mini doing its job. Fuzz finally showing good signs of life here in the game. We'll see if VOD can somehow... Oh, Ira's still upstairs. So wait, okay, so he actually knocked his helmet off with that 24. He did dink him. Unless he's just chucked away all his gear because he ain't got a bag or anything on there. Another point in the bag for Team Liquid. They've got a compound as well. VOD rocking a hard place. He's got a few grenades, but unfortunately it looks like the death squad right now. Oh, swings onto one. Initial knocks there. Confirmation of the kill, so the point comes through now. He has to look at the doorway. He might actually be able to trap him in a bottleneck here. Grenades go down initially. If he switches here, he could snap. Someone's already got his number read, though, by taking a wider angle outside. NIP. Yeah. RIP, boys. Unfortunately, the final game, that will be their final game today on day number 1 of the European Pro League.
Yeah, it's not been the greatest day, but they are still around mid-table. You know, it is the first day of many. That's an interesting choice. I'm guessing that was a very damaged car, which is why they've switched 3 into a Murado going across track. That's a risky move from G2. TSM also making the blast across along with M19. People trying to blast across this valley as quick as they can. You can see it was Jokers that were at the top of the hill. CrowCrowd also taking shots down below. From the edge of Kumasera, it's a big, obviously, arc that they can shoot from. Na'Vi, the 2 remaining players, still coming in late. Going to see what they can snake up and get anything here. Oh, Wanderer, you've got to be careful if TSM jump out of the vehicles. No, they're going to choose to continue. Everybody trying to find a compound. FaZe on the move as well. They're also dodging across the valley and actually kind of leapfrogging Team Liquid almost here as TSM do pull up into the compound. They're going to keep the vehicles fairly safe. They do see CrowCrowd up in the distance, and there's FaZe. They are going up the valley and into a very nice, safe compound.
Makes us sitting back and just being an anchor point, see if anybody wants to trail behind them, give them a focal point. They could bottleneck here, potentially on that long road. I wouldn't expect anyone to be taking that this late in the game, but, you know, stupid is what stupid does. We'll see. Team Liquid also lingering on that side of the road. Vitality and Red Diamonds, they'll put themselves into a bit of a bottleneck and hold back on the northern edge of this circle. Na'Vi, you can see one player up in the bell tower. Uba gets cracked with the 7.62. That's the SLR from Kemba. Where's that coming from? Okay, so that's oncoming fire
Central,
from pretty much directly opposite them. Tires are going to get lost 8 times on the back of that, so he does have some...
He got a hit again there. He nearly got finished off. Uba, you can see he's bled pretty low, so must have took a hit while he was down as well.
They've at least cleverly hid the vehicles away. So they've got a bike and another vehicle there that they can hide away, and the tyres won't be removed. So they've got a means to exit this one if they have to, but Circle... All right, this is going to be pretty brutal.
That's a big shift. Yeah.
2 teams in the middle, 2 teams up north. Kumasera does have a beautiful death in there, but I don't think he'll do too much because he's a one-man band right now. However, because there's so many teams, and again, this comes down to the flight path, so to speak, because there's so many teams all the way on that eastern bank, like, there's only really one way to kind of go through this.
Oh, look at the southeast. Look how many rotating. Look at this. The southeast, you've got Jokers, TSM, ENCE, and M19, all pretty much going the same rotation path. Raise Your Edge are going to get there first. FaZe are also going across, but everybody else on this south side is kind of all trying to make this pass. Oh, G2 way down here as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams all trying to make this big southern migration. It's going to be a risky one. Who's going to post up first? The Jokers will be the first in position. The question is, which way do they go from here? Do they go way out to Valle del Mar and up through that valley? Because it's effectively 2 valleys right now. This circle is encompassing up to, obviously, further north you go to get up to La Drilla. But a beautiful death just trying to be as one with the bush. Last man standing again for Digital Athletics. Not been a good day for them.
FaZe with a reposition, really nice reposition as well. They're going to be on top of the hill, king of the mountain here. They do have Winstrike that's split into a 2-2 directly below them, so they have to be careful of that one. Recrent clearly has drawn some attention from distance. Monkey, one of the, I think it was one of the biggest third damage dealer.
Yeah,
still,
3rd or 4th, definitely up there. You can see his stats overall. Definitely a strong player, Na'Vi. It's not been a good day for Na'Vi overall, really, has it? They haven't had the best of luck.
Not for an invited team that kind of needs to be stamping why they've been invited teams.
Oh, I mean, obviously you look at the 3 Arango games, you know, clashing with Team Liquid the whole time. Team Liquid themselves haven't had the best, but they kind of snake the position in more than anything. If you think of the Samty game, etc. So it's not been a good day for either of them, really, overall. ENCE, who did have a couple of good games. Squeaky picking up a lot of kills. You think towards that game think it was game 2 on Erangel when they had game 3, sorry, as well. Game 2, they got second place. Game 3, they were certainly up there as well. This rotations, by the way, down south. G2, M19, ENCE, all very close to one another. ENCE, obviously, the ones taking the shots on your screen right now, but all very close to one another as you see battle in there. Does manage to get himself into position, so Na'Vi will hold the northern edge of the circle.
So the demographic of this southern area just allows teams to be able to drop the cars and go on foot now. You'll see that a lot more the further up the hill you go, the less likely you are to be wanting to use these vehicles. We've got TSM on foot, we've got CC on foot, we might have ENCE, depends on where this next circle goes. They might need these vehicles to actually reposition because the circle might shift, which it does. It goes to the north. That leaves FaZe, G2, Jokers, ENCE, TSM, and CC. They all have to battle it out because if you try to run left here, you're going to hit Raise Your Edge. You're also going to have to run Winstrike, so you'll get tanked up by them, then you'll hit Raise Your Edge, then you'll come in on the Knights. If you want to run right, now that's probably the better option for them because there's only one team. That's going to be Vitality, but they're further injected more central. If you run that long road, what I mentioned at the start, you are bottlenecked between Liquid and Winstrike, and you are dead.
Road. Look at that road. G2 there. Raise Your Edge already set up, by the way. G2 FaZe, all both blasting for that left road. And yeah, the FaZe actually the ones that catch Chris out, but ahead of them, you can see Raise Your Edge. Oh, he just drove straight in. He caught Wanted down, but it does go down, and G2... the back-to-back chicken dinner winners look like they may be going out very early on here. Udyr, the last man standing with 15 teams still alive, goes straight into Winstrike as he goes over the hill. Winstrike may well catch him down. It doesn't look like there's going to be much left. G2 eliminated. 15th place for them. Just caught out in a heavy, heavy circle shift way to the west and then north.
This is great for FaZe because 2 members of RYE are down opposite them. Raise Your Edge are actually hurt. They're not out, but they're certainly hurt. FaZe might be able to make an advantage on this, either reposition or just hit them. Hit them while they're hurt and go for it. Ibi and Samti back-to-back. Rustamar and Trafeli, they'll go down on rotation, unfortunately.
If FaZe don't move fast, if they don't get up the hill fast, they're going to be caught out. Jokers are coming above them, and they're going to be on a higher elevation, so get straight behind them. But Team Liquid getting caught out. Squeaky, he has been a monster so far, doing some serious work. But ENCE have got 2 down. Oh, that nade catching a big old chunk of Squeaky. Has to back away. Tosses a nade himself. James gets to go on. Mikas does catch him. It's Squeaky that goes down to Samti as FaZe try and get back in the vehicles and get out of there. Running the rush. Straight in towards Fast Rail. Pulling up next to him. Will get the gun down straight away. The headshot from Mexi. No mess in there. Meanwhile, in the distance, we see ENCE going down. Team Liquid flushing them out in 13th.
The biggest thing for FaZe here that they've actually got ahead of the Snake. Raise Your Edge were the problem here for them because they were holding that entire long road that they couldn't get in any way. So they pushed it, they took out one player, and they took a vital position. Meanwhile, TSM, they've got a battle of themselves. CC, they're in a bit of a bottleneck here. They are wiping them out, though. There might only be one alive. They've had a good push here. You can see Michael with a grenade in hand in the back lines. Might want to finish this one off. Wookie Bookie, the land giant himself, up over, grenade cooked. It's got his name written on it. Will it triple down? Of course it will. GG. CC, they go out in 11th position.
Yeah, monster game 1 for TSM. Haven't really done a great deal since then, but that's going to get them back in momentum where they started. Jokers and M19 trading blows down on the southwest of the circle. Raise Your Edge also trading as well. They were kind of getting pushed by Jokers, but Jokers have been forced into this fight when M19, and M19 are not coming out well here at the moment. Raise Your Edge pushing into the backside of FaZe. We were talking about how they're being gate-kept by them. Still outside and done and dusted. 10th place for Raise Your Edge.
Uban getting aggressive. I like it. Pushed up all the way into the blue. Needed the hell out of them, and down they go. Now all of a sudden they have one less enemy behind them they have to worry about. FaZe can continue onwards. However, getting poked, unfortunately. Oh, ENCE with the insta-knock straight across. You poke the bear, you get the claws. Drayden, he does go down, the big man who's known for sniping. Unfortunately, gets sniped back himself, so FaZe can continue forward and maybe get a reposition on here that actually damages the Knights. They could get ahead of them and be really smart about this one. The Knights decided to take a couple of pop shots, give away the position, and now they've got a man down. Remember, when you get a teammate knocked, you have to res him. So essentially, you're down 2 men, so it'll be 50%. The whole team, it just kind of breaks the economy altogether. This might allow a big swing from FaZe. Take advantage while they're getting the res off there. They've got the initial knock to push on this hard and get a better position on them.
That's a long-range shots. I think it's a doozy that's taking the shots onto TSM there. You can see peppered shots coming towards them, but they're trying to sneak into the backside of Vitality. Team Liquid are also sending it. They're getting in position. You saw just there Pittsburgh Knights trying to reposition towards La Drillera, I should say.
There we go.
As FaZe Clan come in, but M19, this time they're losing players. EHOT gets downed, and looks like the Jokers are going to come over the top and finish the job. They are still a long way from the circle, and the Blues on their backs. That knock is going to slow them down as well. Kemba should be able to get the tab back on his feet. There's somebody getting him in, so I think it's Senya's off the side, so he's going to push around. Meanwhile, Team Liquid have found Vitality, and it's not gone their way. Monkey, who's been doing some serious damage today, has got himself James.
It's a questionable play by Liquid. They have split up completely. Completely and utterly just caved in across the map. Best of luck. Ibby's already hurt, and he is done for. He is completely cooked, unfortunately. That's just, with a nade like that, there's nothing you can do about it. There's literally nothing you can do about it whatsoever when you're that hurt altogether. That grenade's going to do so much.
The hillside position for Red Diamonds is really strong right now. That's going to be M19 flushed out. You saw in the pip down the bottom right-hand side. Jokers starting to get a rhythm going, I feel, here. And obviously, you've got to think a lot of the CIS teams have made a relatively longer journey. Obviously, we were over in Minsk and in Kiev before, and sort of discounted the fact that a lot of the CS teams have had to make some pretty big adjustments moving here to Berlin, but TSM do manage to get Samty down, so that's Team Liquid out in 8th place.
I don't
FaZe
know.
still with 4 alive.
I don't know about that positioning personally.
Yeah.
Having 3 so split, I don't know, they were doing quite well with the lads and they were working their way up, but they just split so hard that there's no chance of getting any kind of res off when you're so far apart.
Jokers are completely in the open here. This is easy for TSM. This is going to be a big kill round for them, I feel. They've already got 6, getting them back on their feet. That smoke is really only limiting the factor. You can see one goes down. Kemba should get revived, but the shots are going to continue into that smoke, and it's going to dissipate sooner or later. It's a pretty open run down the hill. The only problem is, of course, TSM outside the next circle. FaZe catching another member. Kramer goes down. Pittsburgh Knights keep on leaking players to FaZe Clan, but now they're running into the back of Red Diamonds.
I actually don't think they caught him, Lee. I think that was a pivotal push by them. They sent 2 off into the distance to try and do cleanup duty, which they have. And that's now forced Pittsburgh Knights to split. 2 of them have gone to the north, and as you just copped for it, they've now run into Red Diamonds. FaZe are playing a very tactical and very aggressive game here, eliminating enemies just so they can give themselves a better position on the edge of the circle. ENCE's getting copped out by Pin on the back, so he has to be careful and really drag this one in now just to get a bit more cover. I love what FaZe are doing here. They are playing this really slow, but also quite aggressive when it needs to be. They're holding a certain position, poking out, damaging a team, and then rooting back as a team. This is great. I love it.
Drayden looks like he's in all sorts of trouble. The last man, you can see Aduzi's on the full flank here. Pin's going to come down above him. They really are just pincering his position. Drayden trying to hold them off, but he will go down, and that's the Knights out in 7th. The Jokers look to be following suit in a moment as Kemba tries to run the gauntlet down the hillside, but he will be picked off, and TSM get themselves their 9th kill of the game. But Jazza immediately knocks him down. A double nade onto Gustav and Rory. They're going to get flushed out here. Wookie Bookie realizing this is already a done deal. Michael and Wookie Bookie, can they try and keep them at bay? You can see they've got this little ledge here, but Monkey's already got a higher flank. Gets Jazza down. Nade comes in. Nasus Please eats one to the face there. Quickly in the jaw. But this nade from Monkey.
That's a good nade.
Oh, just a Wookie. Good timing on the cut there, boys.
We've got seen nothing in the kill feed. Bestalok has to get his health back. And again, FaZe Clan already downhill. Wookie Bookie will go on to the opposing cam. He's got 1. FaZe, 10 kills for TSM. Killing spree again. This could be a big game for them, and they need it after a rather unfortunate few rounds. There's 2 of them. We got Michael knocked down. You can see it in the left-hand side. The live statistics are incredible. There's so much information. Wookie Bookie needs to get a bit of a kill. But it looks like Vitality annihilates all of TSM and sends them packing in Game 5.
But they're down to 2. I think they got 3. Yeah, they got 1 back on the feet. Winstrike, by the way, coming out roses right now.
What happened to FaZe?
They've still got 4 players. They've got. You were watching the pit, mate. It was on in the big screen. FaZe were getting ripped apart by Red Diamonds there. They are down to FuzzFace. Red Diamonds doing some serious work. Winstrike repositioning nicely. Have they got enough to try and take down Vitality down low? You can see Jazza trying to hit the dirt here. Meanwhile, in the pit, FuzzFace, the last man standing for FaZe Clan now, has got himself the circle. And we know the big boy can perform, and he's just going to have to hit the dirt right now and try and go for those placement points. 4th, I believe, is the highest finish for FaZe so far today.
Does he even get any further than that? Again, Fuzz, I think this is the 2nd time we've seen it where he's last man standing, just playing for survival. Red Diamonds clearly having a height advantage there over FaZe Clan and just opening up on them, which eliminates 2. They lost 1 earlier on. And now we're down to Fuzz to try and... Excuse me, no, we didn't. They were actually a 4-man team, so they lost 3 during that 1 stack. Jorski staying back here in the compound. I like this from Winstrike. They got 4 up, and that's how they want to keep it. Vitality, though, unfortunately have to run the gauntlet here. There are 2 teams directly in front of them that could potentially bottleneck.
Or they could come around the back.
Yes, this could be the other option what I was about to mention. If Red Diamonds are not watching their back lines, Vitality could open up, but the engagement has started. Each team knows where they are. First grenade goes down. Not seeing a knock
but look how close they are. The nade coming in. Oh, just going to get around the side. Senpai will find Shadow. I think Vitality out of nades.
Actually opening up on him as well.
Well, okay, why not?
Fuzz might help him here.
And he picks up the kill as well, pinned down, and just like that, the Diamonds are eliminated. So top 3 now for FaZe Clan as well. But Winstrike, 3 alive, 4 alive, I should say, for them. They've kind of been sat out of it. I think they maybe only got 2 kills out of the in total. While they might get a chicken dinner here, it's Vitality that have definitely been involved, obviously pressuring TSM. I just wonder how much utility they use, though, in the engagement with TSM to try and keep themselves alive. But you can see Winstrike, they have the hill advantage. The question is, will the circle pull away from him? Because FuzzFace is now opening up onto Vitality. Gets a couple of pot shots on Jazza there, but instantly replied.
This has Winstrike's game written all over it. 4 members alive, 2 members of Vitality. Jorski Boy going to be pulling up as well. The Sona boys, obviously, we saw them back, picked up. Get a nice organisation underneath the belt. They've been playing for a while of these lads, and they're a damn good set of individual players. We've seen them pull things out of the bag in the past. And why not round off day 1 with a win? Circle, I don't think it really means too much, honestly. They've got 4 up. They should just let these individual players come to them, unless unless something catastrophic, like, I don't know, a random nade or just a complete god play from Fuzz happens. This should be theirs.
I like what Fuzz is doing. He's basically backed away from that fight and he's like, oh, Vitality, yeah, you want to engage? You're going to now have to run through Winstrike. So he's kind of almost made it...
They're hunting it, though,
you
Lee.
guys,
I like it.
But that's it. They're forcing Winstrike to fight Vitality, and FuzzFace is like, I'm going to get my 2nd place. I'm happy with that. Here comes Tixus just over the top there. Had a great performance in Minsk, these boys. And as you say, they secured their qualification in no problem, really. Tixu, little underhand's going to find Nasus. That should do. Jazz is going to peek over the top. Oh, Nasus actually goes aggressive and decides to push up there. FuzzFace comes out, gets himself nookie. Sneaky play from the big Swede as he gets around the side, and suddenly Winstrike are thinking, what just happened? We just lost so many players.
Oh my God,
This
Fuzz.
is doable.
Oh my. If you somehow do this, you are a complete and utter legend. Players have been split here. Winstrike's actually been damaged.
He's about to see Jorski. He's caught the back of Jorski. He's caught the back of him. Jorski sees him, though. He's not going to get caught out, but this is buying time for Vitality. They've got them back on their feet, so Jazza and Nasus both back up. That's bought them time. First tries to toss out a hopeful nade and see what he can do, but he is outside the zone right now, but he's on the smoother edge, and now he's in.
They're playing smart, though, Lee. They're actually playing to try and stop him from making any grounds on them. You can see Timmy's always...
Winstrike is split. What are they doing? They're taking 1v1 fights. This is not how you should do it. Winstrike, you're down to 2. You've got to group. You've got to regroup. FuzzFace is going to go down here. No, FuzzFace! Oh, he lands the headshot on him. Are you kidding me? And now Nasus might found the back of Jorski. This is Winstrike. They had 4 alive, and Jorski just gets the revive off. FuzzFace finds himself another chance to come out on top. Jazza now, and Vitality suddenly in golden position to take the win.
Fuzz with the random nade, just trying to feel it out. They'll pick up another point. Might even pick up another placement here for FaZe Clan.
Good
This
Lord.
is phenomenal work from the...
Jorski's suddenly watching his back. He's like, I can't cover. Look at this. Vitality are coming around the back of him. Vitality are so focused on Winstrike, now they've got to look for FaZe. But do they know where he is? Because he's been moving around so much. He is way down the hill. You've got to give this Vitality. Surely he will come out on top. Now they see FaZe, I think, down there. Just got a glimpse of him. Yeah, Nasus got a glimpse of him. Gets a little dodge around the side. He's sitting in the smoke right now. It's hard to tell, obviously, sometimes in spectator mode, but look at Fuzz's position. You can see down in the pit there what exactly you can see. He's tossing out nades. He's still got a nade. He's got a lot of nades. He's been picking these up as he goes along.
Yeah, but it's a 2 versus 1 and they have the high ground. I know 2 versus 1s are obviously doable. I mean, he'd have to cook this and land it perfectly.
Yeah, there we go. Jazza easy. It's a win for Vitality! At last we see one of the Olden boys coming out on top. Jazza, of course, formerly off Rogue, merged in with the Vitality boys, Monkey alongside him, and Shadow. But FaZe, well, that's not how you're meant to do it, Rich. You're meant to stay quiet when you're the solo player, not go looking for the kills.
Look, he's an aggressive player and I respect him. I think the only question I have to ask is if they haven't had that unlucky engagement with Red Diamonds. They had, you know, more than one player into the final circle. They generally, legitimately could have won that. I was surprised they lost 3 just like that, and it must have been just the angle that Red Diamonds had on them. You know, it's an open amount of ground there, and if